So the topic that I chose was spoilers. Spoiler is a little addition to the car that significantly impacts the gas mileage that it gives, the downforce on it, the traction, and makes the car perform significantly better. Spoiler, a car without a spoiler would look like this. And adding a spoiler right here will add downforce to the car, helping it with better traction, better handling, um, help with the gas economy and all. So a spoiler is added to a car to better its performance, as it's supposed to reduce drag, reduce lift, and add downforce to the car. So drag is a force that pulls the vehicle the opposite direction it's going. So if it's going to the left, drag is pulling the car back to the right. A lift is a perpendicular force that pushes the car upwards. So on lighter vehicles like F1 cars with a lot of power, it tends to have a lot of lift, so a spoiler is necessary to add downforce to it. And lastly, downforce is the high pressure that is caused by the spoiler that pushes the car to the ground and helps it with better traction, better handling, to turn corners at a faster rate of speed and all. So one great example of how a spoiler is very beneficial is the Audi TT. So when the Audi TT initially came out, they released the car without a spoiler, just looking like this. So the back had absolutely nothing. It was a light, small two-door car. And then it was reported that after it exceeded speeds of 110 miles per hour, it just swerve and crash. So Audi called back all the Audi TTs, and the later year they released Audis with little spoilers on the back. So they literally just slapped a little spoiler that helped it with its traction and everything. And just with this one little device, it helped the car stay on the road and made it safer. Also added to the fuel economy and had a lot of benefits.
Okay, if we look at diagrams of how a spoiler would work, a car without a spoiler would have high pressure in the front and low pressure in the back with minimal separation right here. And it does not help with downforce, but it creates lift, as there's the top pressure and the bottom pressure. The differences between two would create lift. And the car doesn't have any help on the performance side. Now, if you look at a car with a little spoiler in the back, there's low pressure in the front and high pressure in the back. So there's low pressure in the front and high pressure in the back, which adds downforce. And the higher pressure back here decreases lift, but it does increase drag. But since there is less lift and more drag, it adds to the car's performance. Lastly, a car with an airfoil. So this car right here with an airfoil in the back, the air can flow straight through the back, the spoiler, and there's no air blocks, so it decreases lift with not a lot of drag, and it actually helps add a lot of downforce to the car, just making the overall performance a lot better.
One unit of physics that spoilers fall into is the Newton's laws. So Newton's second law explains how downforce is created, as it tells us that to deflect the flow downwards, the spoiler or airfoil, as shown before, must push downward on the fluid. So this essentially is telling that the air is supposed to be pushed downwards to add traction and create downforce. Now, moving on to Newton's third law, which tells us how lift is created, as it states that for every action there's an equal or opposite reaction. So the fluid, the air, must be pushed upwards on the airfoil to create lift. The second unit that spoilers fall into is fluid mechanics, as the air flows straight through the car and gets essentially spoiled here, so it hits the spoiler, creating high pressure in the back and low pressure in the front, which creates downforce, which plants the vehicle to the ground, and it helps with traction, better handling, and everything is just a lot better as the car can grip to the ground better, which improves top speed as well. In conclusion, spoilers are an essential to sports cars, supercars, hypercars, and it helps add to its performance, whether it be gas mileage or just top speed, handling, traction better. Everything, it just makes everything a little better.